name is Favor. If you're familiar, hey, welcome back. If you're not, well, my name is Favor. I help women from all around the world to heal, break bondages, and restore beauty from ashes. So today, we're gonna actually go into something that actually has been placed on my heart to do. I'm actually going to start off with saying, thank you so much for coming. This is 2026 and I am so excited to actually be someone that takes you through this journey of life and actually helps you. More of my content will be geared towards spiritual and mental development. This video starts off a section within my YouTube channel. This section of my channel is going to be a place where I break down certain movies and I bring in the psychological and the spiritual aspects and I put them together and I showcase how we can learn from such movies. The enemy does not have Hollywood because little does it know, it's actually showcasing God throughout all of their content. And I am here to decode and actually bring you some new revelation through new pairs of eyes. This section will be called Healing Through the Lens. So starting off, we're gonna start off with Devil Wears Prada. I actually watched this movie yesterday and I love it. I love this movie. I watched it before, but you know, watching it with new pairs of eyes. If you see me looking down, I have my book here. Listen, I did my notes. I studied to show myself approved, yes ma'am. Devil Wears Prada, you probably already know, but let me just give you a little quick recap. There is two main characters within this movie. The main character, Andy, she is a journalist and she is super smart, brainsy girl, but doesn't have a lick of fashion sense, doesn't really care for her outer appearance. She applies for a job, which is a second assistant to a really high renowned, really high profile woman called Miranda. And mind you, Andy does not know a lick of anything about fashion, runway, cover girl, nothing. Because she's just trying to get by like some people out here. She doesn't really understand the magnitude of what this job entails until she proves herself worthy for Miranda to actually choose as a contendant for the position, and she gets the job. So when she gets the job, she actually goes through this journey of actually figuring out who she is, where she starts to turn into someone that she doesn't recognize but didn't know that she had within her the whole time. So I'm not gonna digress into too much, but these are the two main characters. So this movie in a whole actually just represents self-ambition and how self-ambition is the devil's playground. So we're gonna break it up into three sectors. One sector would be mindset, the other one heart posture, and the third one would be moral superiority. It wasn't until Miranda actually breaks her down to the point where she feels as though she's trying her hardest, but then she gets the reality check like, girl, no, you're not trying at all. You're actually mocking everybody as you're trying to do the work. You're not being your best person with the work. So her mindset had to shift in regards to where she was at. She had to stop thinking of the work that other people were doing in this industry as lower or lowly or vain, because at the end of the day, people need clothes. We need clothes. Designer is not necessarily because of the price tag, it's because of the fabrics and the time and the details. It's a form of art, and she didn't understand that. However, when she started shifting her mind towards actually trying to understand, she actually started to let go of her values with that. However, when she started to shift her mind and start to actually relate or try to understand the art of fashion, she actually started to let go of her beliefs and her moral compass. So from your mind, as a man thinketh, so is he. So she thought minuscule, and then when her mindset shifted, then she started thinking, okay, I could be one of them girls. Like I could be the it girl, the ones that they're all around, yeah, that could be me. And so now her heart's posture came into play. She started off with a heart posture of servitude and learning. However, she was too malleable to the point where she allowed other people's beliefs now become her own. And this goes into us where we have to be careful with how we allow people to shift and change our mindset so that we're not letting them also shift the way our heart is supposed to be postured. For instance, with the Lord, when we're supposed to be humble before him, and then all of a sudden, because we have this cognitive realization that, oh my gosh, I'm actually the bomb.com, and now your posture is very greedy or you're very prideful. She became prideful, and another thing is that she started to let that pride overtake her because she wouldn't admit to her changing. The little yeses that she had every single step was more compromise that she made every single step. And so it eventually led to the biggest compromise of all, when she was given an opportunity to go to Paris and knew that the one lady that loved it, that wanted that position so bad, that wanted it so much, was there before her and that's been earning it for years probably to go to Paris. She was presented the opportunity. She, as an Andy, was presented the opportunity and she took it right from under somebody else that has been working and tearing for it just because the opportunity was in her face. And she felt as though she had no choice, that it was just, if she didn't do it, then her life would be over and this and that. And so her going to Paris, yeah, she lived a high life. She saw beautiful things. She was able to get beautiful dresses and get opportunities and things. But however, it was a compromise. Miranda, who's a very highly feared woman, yet it lacks love, as well as very strongly passive, but she makes her qualities known during this trip. So I believe Nigel, that's his name, I'm not too sure, sorry guys. I believe he was up for a job, like he was her probably like second hand, like CFO or something, and he had been working for her diligently, wholeheartedly for 18 years, and she had put him up for a job that was going to actually give him the freedom that he wanted this whole time. He would be a designer, and that's what he's always aimed for. Miranda sacrificed her word in order to make sure that she stayed in the position that she wanted to be in, because the board of directors wanted to kick Miranda out because she was getting old and they wanted someone fresh and new. She found a loophole, and with this, she literally drug the rug right under from Nigel, and he didn't know. He was blindsided because they had a whole award and it was a whole big thing. So Andy actually saw what happened and she was heartbroken, and she was like, I would never do anything like that. And now we go into moral superiority, because Andy actually was like, I would never do something like that to anybody. Like, what you just did was horrible, da 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 da. And then Miranda clocks her and says, you already did. You already did. This trip was your compromise. Miranda then goes on to say that she sees herself with an Andy, and Andy was like, oh no. So it's like everything that everybody was trying to tell her was now just coming up out of the dark. Like they were trying to tell her, like, Andy, you're acting different. Not being loyal to your boyfriend. You're not prioritizing your friends, your family, your love. And you're now putting runway, fashion, your work, everything that you really didn't want this to begin with, but now you're showing your true colors, that you'll actually do whatever it takes to take something from somebody else that actually was earning it. But because you wanted it, or because were given the opportunity, you will do whatever it takes, regardless of how it is morally, to get what you want. And this is self-ambition. And so we have to understand that we're not above doing wrong. We're not above doing anything that'll put us in a place where, okay, now you're ripping the rug from somebody else and you're doing something to hurt somebody else. But you have to own up to your wrongdoings. And that's where the humbleness comes into play. That's where the mindset comes into play, where you're like, okay, I know I'm the bomb.com. I know that I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of the Lord, okay? I know that I am promised wealth and riches. But at the end of the day, who do you submit to? Who do you answer to? Where is your integral compass? At the end, Andy had to make a choice whether to stay and become like Miranda sees her to be, or walk away and actually go back to being the person who she actually wanted to be. Let me do a disclaimer. Ambition is not wrong. Where you're trying to get ahead and you're trying to go ahead and be the best you that you can be, aim for all your goals, all of that, that's not wrong. Where it becomes wrong is where it's self-ambition, where you're willing to agree with the enemy, agree with the adversary so that you can get ahead, instead of going through processes, through pruning, through the wilderness sometimes, or the fire, or the refining, anything and everything that the Lord has in store for you to get where you are. You want to go through the wide path? Go ahead. that's gonna lead to destruction. But the way of the Lord is straight and narrow, and we should never have the mindset that we're above being wrong or above doing something wrong or above even getting to the point where something does look good, a good little deal, and you do want to take it, but at the end of the day, what's that going to cost you? What's the cost to that compromise? I hope you gained something from this lesson today. I really enjoyed just breaking it down. I love talking about stuff like this. I love movies in general, and I love always breaking down and nitpicking like what I can get from it, because the Lord literally speaks through anything. And so I do encourage watching the movie. It doesn't have anything like crazy in it. However, go by your convictions. Please go by your convictions. Do not come and say Favor now told you to watch something and now you're battling with whatever you've been battling with. No. Just go ahead, please go by your convictions. Ask the Lord about self-ambition. Like, ask the Lord, like, Lord, do I have any part of me that denies the fact that I'm in wrong? Do I have any part of me that doesn't have a heart posture towards you? Do I have any part of me that my mindset is actually thinking myself lowly or thinks of myself too high? Because that is actual pride too. Pride is when you think of yourself above or below God's standard for you. So if God is like, you're right here, you're beautifully, wonderfully made, you're this and that and the fourth, you're a bag of sun chips, and you're like, oh, well, I'm better than sun chips, I'm this and that and the fourth, that's prideful. Or you're like, no, I'm worse, I'm a potato sack, I am nothing close to sun chips, that's prideful. So go ahead and make sure that you get that checked out, okay? If you like videos like this, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. What was your favorite part of this video? What was interesting to you? What did you get from this? What revelation did you finally just arrive to? Let me know in the comments. I love reading those because it actually makes me feel like I'm doing something. This has been Favor Okorocha from The Oval Way. Shalom.